every second of it. It was like, it was just, oh, look, I'm in the teleporter, or am I? And that was about it. I'm expecting a lot more from PaperX. I've heard whispers of what the Yoru can do, and today,
a lot of bait plays.
Forsaken's going to be showing us exactly what he's got up his sleeves. We're kicking off Bind, PaperX against DRX, and PaperX come in with the map advantage here.
The thing is, DRX have switched their comp as well. So they brought in a Sage. Now, one of the things that could be just to deny the Yoru is having that wall. Just like, yeah, you get through this one, bud. But also just having all of that Ashe utility to try and slow with gravity wells and stuff. I wonder if they're directly using this composition to play up against the composition of PaperX.
The gamble here from PaperX was that it would be a play through mid-B, but unfortunately they've gone elsewhere. So now this retake play on A goes in a little fast. Up and above the wall.
Oh,
Forsaken's down. The flash coming in from Benkai now. Headshot connected. He's been chased. He's been hunted by the boom bot, and eventually he'll be able to make it out. Lucky did as well. The nade, the stun, everything coming in for the RB down.
Execution. Benkai just swings the corner. And now it's going to go wrapping in. Zest hasn't connected the shots. Jing, on the other hand, well, he doesn't miss.
Look at this setup from Mako. Overcomes the utility to push them down. First, you're pulling them off. Then you're putting down that snake bite to make sure that they can't get back on the spike. Now they're in a pretty tough spot getting back in there. Standing. Good fight by Jing. Another connect, and now he's got his nade back up and online. And here it comes. Gonna push Mako forward, if not take him down altogether. Very nicely handled by PaperX, and another fantastic round out of Jing. This guy's had 3 in a row now, bringing it across maps.
Yeah, he's winning them rounds, and that's the thing. That's the value of him coming in. As I said, like, to run a double duelist, you need to have 2 superstars, and that's what they now have. But before it was the Forsaken show, now Jing can basically just step up whenever they need him. I will say, though, the thing I really liked about this retake was just the pacing of it. Like, they were taking control of Lamp so fast that even Zest, who was on the other side, didn't have enough time to react to everybody just swinging him at once. So, well played, good structure from PaperX, and now, well, on the other side of things, it looks like there's some risks being taken.
I love this setup. It's exactly what they were looking for in the pistol. This time they initiated at the very start of the round instead of off contact, but they've ended up going down, and really that's the surprise element of this buy for DRX. They come in with weapons when PaperX thought it would be an eco and an easy round, although they picked up the kills nicely. Stack's in a bit of trouble, and Mako's able to help him from afar. They've regained control of the spike, but I'm not sure PaperX are finished fighting.
Oh, another flash. They've just got so many to continuously aggress on this defensive side. A lot of damage done. At the same time, though, in terms of weaponry, it's almost even. In fact, DRX invested more into this round. Mindfreak, bit of an off angle. If he can get 2 and even just duck out. No, he's going to stick around. Finish them all off. And earn himself some more orbs along the way. 4 spy fails. DRX are going to have to go back to the pistols for this one. And PaperX, well, if anything, I think they come out of that with more weapons than they started with.
Yeah, no, you got to be pretty happy if you're PaperX, right? They played a pretty low buy coming into that one. Lots of pistols to work with, and they made it work. DRX, we talked about it on the previous map when they lost that second half pistol, that it is something that you can see this team do, going for the 4 spies. And here, the surprise element of it certainly paid off on that mid-fight initially. But from there, PaperX just did not relent. You know, a lot of teams will fall back and go, oh, okay, we lost. You got 1-for-1 trades, whatever. Let's fight back on the site. These guys were like, all right, I'm going to TP back, then I'm going to come through, flash again, then he put his, like, decoy up middle, then ran back through and TP'd back. Like, they had no idea what was going on.
Oh, Benkai set up ready. Hot flash again. He's running off the back of it, but it is only going to be the one.
Spike down A.
Not falling for the fake out. Actually, Jing's just going. He's just running.
Oh, that nade's
just wants to sprint with them. The thing is, they're going to manage to avoid it. Now the rest of the team look to actually just take this control. It's such an aggressive defense, even versus the pistols. They're wanting to try and fight. Buzz is in, and Buzz, he's now found another. This is starting to fall apart a bit. The aggression finally punishing, and now Mindfreak left again. He got 3 kills in the last round. He needs to do the same.
Well, look what's being given over, though. DRX now have weapons to work with. Zest is going to have his heal online in a bit and be able to at least heal either himself or probably Buzz right back up with the Phantom in play for Mako in full health. This is a round that looks set to be in the hands of DRX, and it is taken convincingly with 3 players surviving, a free Phantom for them as well. The second round force buy didn't quite pay off, but they've got it back somehow on the eco.
Yeah, I feel like these are the blips that you're going to see on the radar for PaperX. Like, Again, in rounds where you know your opponent's economy is low, to be this aggressive, it's always going to have massive risks around it, but they don't want to give that fight up, because then they know that they would have given some of the weaponry over. I do agree, though, the Phantom did seem a little bit much, especially at that sort of range. I just don't feel like the value is there. Now you get maybe the most mixed bag buy I've ever seen. It's been a long, long time since I've seen a Yoru op as well. Laz, he's still in this tournament. I think that's the only man who's ever done it.
You've got a Yoru op and then a Judge in the hands of Raze. This is a mixed buy indeed. Devi having the Spectre. But the Operator is where they look to take initial contact here on middle. TP ready to get them back over towards the B side if he needs, and he will in a moment. There's the peak initially. RB down immediately. And that's a great start. I think DRX will be pretty surprised with having run into a Yoru op to start.
Yeah, but I guess at this point you almost have to expect the unexpected when it comes to PaperX. Like, that's the problem. That, like, no one else in the world is going to be playing this comp, so you can only have hard prepped for them. And even then, they're not scrimming you anymore. They stopped doing that a month ago so that they could have these cheeky little plays that you're not going to be expecting when coming into this tournament. There's
no way that Forsaken's going to go through the teleporter, try to fight them in TP, and then, okay, his teleporter's actually gone. His gate crash, it was in the spawn, but it's disappeared now. So he won't be able to rotate as quickly, and that works out perfectly for DRX as they look to push forward. That is ridiculous. Jing getting himself one, but he'll be taken down afterwards. Now the site's basically lost with the wall in the way. The plant should be secured.
I felt like I'm back watching F4Q again. Like, just blast pack, Judge plays. A little bit of utility being placed, but caught while coming out of the animation. Devi has managed to clear one out. RB is going to be brought back from the fray, but Stax needs to get aggressive while the rest are rotating. Can't allow them to get on that defusal, and well, they should have a gravity well or something to try and pull them off, but they managed to get it to half. Not a bad position, and something that might not necessarily be expected. The peek out isn't going to garner anything. RB does manage one, but he can't escape. Benkai again, so good with those fault lines, and they have plenty of time, Mitch.
I love the use of the molly coming through from Mindfreak as well inside the smoke when they start the defuse. So these players, they have to allow it to go halfway. The only option they had was to spam through, and as soon as they tried that, there was return fire, I think, from Benkai taking the player down. With 3-1 now on the board, that is a remarkable recovery by PaperX off the back of a pretty risky investment. I mean, there were a lot of things here that might have cost them, and that Judge in particular, finding value from that, honestly, he could have gotten a lot more if the timing was, I don't want to say better because there's no way he can know, but luckier, let's say.
Well, I like in those highlights as well, you see that two of the, well, obviously 6, because they did use a res, players that died were completely stunned up by fault lines from Benkai. He has been doing incredible work with that small piece of utility, and already we're going to see the initial aggression. Look how fast this rotation is. They're already looking to try and get 4 players within this B side. Make it 5, in fact.
Orbital strikes used to slow them down, and RB's taken down in the meantime. Seeker's out for Devi, but he's got cover. Benkai coming in to save the day, and Devi's gonna dance around that smoke. He goes down, but he knows exactly where Stax is. That information's fed to his teammates, and okay, Stax can fall back and has some Seekers of his own, but in a 1v4, even getting the plant down here would be ambitious and quite difficult. I like the PaperX were sticking together for a while as 4, but splitting into 2-2 makes a lot of sense here just to cover more ground.
I don't think it's a stat that anybody can pull, but I would love to know how much of the game PaperX spend running over walking. Because I feel like it's going to be higher than anyone else ever. Because it's like their rotation there was so quick. Now, the player on the site is actually relatively low. The thing is, I'd be very surprised if Mindfreak peaks. He actually does off the back of the stun. Gives an opportunity. Flash through as well. Stax is doing incredibly well to isolate these jewels. The other player is coming in on the flank. If he can somehow find this rag, he's got an opportunity and actually moves into a safe spot to utilize the Seekers. He's going to get the wallbang. 4 down, and now he even knows where Forsaken is. Could just go for the plant, bringing this back to try and ace it. Pop flash out to leave him blind, leaves himself blind a little bit as well. Forsaken still just trying to sneak his way, trying to ruin the day of Stax, but he will land the headshot in the end. A round that never should have been.
I mean, back and forth the entire map so far. We have had rounds that shouldn't be won. The eco from DRX, the mix buy for PaperX, but I think that one's taken the cake for now. Unbelievable work, a 1v4 ace clutch. And he isolates every duel. You can definitely look at that as some mistakes from PaperX, but I understand Benkai wants to get out there to help his low HP teammate who was 1 bullet through the wall away from going down. The Operator swap out for Forsaken, and a damn good attempt on the jump up, but Such a crispy shot hit by Stax. That is 3-2, and now PaperX are left down to the eco. The tables are turning too damn fast.
The man's a god. Like, he read everything perfectly. Like, sure, the Seekers at the end was the icing on the cake just to give him the information, but it was the isolation of every single one of those duels from Stax. So clever in those sort of spots, and, well, as you said, leaving PaperX in a bit of an awkward position, because up until that, their read on the round has been phenomenal. They've been doing an excellent job on this defensive side, but that one blip on the radar could be enough to turn things. Again, we're just seeing these combinations of stuns and flashes and Mind Freak. It's going to go pushing, but they know. They know that someone's made that move.
Gonna burn up
Run.
the... Oh, God.
Run!
It's caught him as well. Yeah. Won't have any impact off the back, though, obviously. No one pushing up from DRX. They're waiting to go into the A site. They've been spotted up by Divide, tagged through the wall. Not having an easy time getting out of there. He has managed to reposition with Forsaken. They're not going to get on top of the wall as they try to break it. Divide goes down. Showstopper attempt. It's going to find nothing. That was an ambitious ultimate.
Maybe not wanting to go all the way up, just being headshotted. Forsaken's actually found Zest through the edge of the box, and then just seconds later, we have a blast pack kill. RB holds his ground, and he's going to wipe them out, leaving just Mind Freak, the late lurk once again, trying to come back through, and Buzz is watching and waiting. DRX not letting anything get out of control, the ult's not really having the impact they would have desired, and they're going to equal up that scoreline.
Well, no surprise while we were talking about the potential forces in round 2 from DRX. We said confidence is the way to play, and so far, it has been working out for them. Face into that bye, sure, we expect them to win that round and equalize things up. But the way that they've been getting this done, the clutch from Stax, I mean, momentum has got to be off the charts over on that attacking side. But this is where they face a pretty tough round. I mean, Forsaken, I don't even want to theorize what he's going to do with that ultimate. Things can get wild, let's just say. And then on the other side, you've also got a Rolling Thunder to try and recover some of these scenarios. PaperX have a bunch to work with. Although the one upside is that Showstopper was burned up in the last round for nothing. And here's the Showstopper on the other side, getting away with a kill inside of Hookah.
just watching what Forsaken is going to try and attempt here. Pop flashing out, dissipates back to the A side, but the rest of his team are going to be left somewhat alone. They've won themselves into the corner! What has just happened? He even jumps back down off the wall, and now it's somewhat stuck. It's a bit of a weird position to be in. Benkai in the corner as well. The flash is solid. One isolated, but can't get himself the second. And now, well, the man who gate crashed away now has to try and run back, and that he's already got his Seekers back. He used it in that clutch just 2 rounds ago.
And then he got 4 kills. It certainly helped out.
Spike
Right, there was 2 right after the Seekers. Forsaken still with a flash and his ult to play with. He's going to be moving into this 1v2 for now, clearing the angles with the Vandal. Needs the headshot with just 32 health. And PaperX, you know, they're not going to have an easy time. DRX are just stuck in, not peeking anything, waiting for him to tap that spike, and then they can run it off the clock in the positions they're in. It's so hard for Forsaken to weed them out. And they even believe it's a fake to start with. Gorgeous stuff. I like the fact that you send the one guy out of Hookah and the player inside of Elbow is just going to sit there, just going to wait for something to happen. There's no point in both you peeking and giving the information away. A 4th round found pretty cleanly, and that was the buy round for PaperX, leaving it down to another eco. DRX, despite a pretty terrible start to this, they've certainly recovered the fumble.
Yeah, definitely a little bit more shaky. I think if you end up locking you and your teammate behind a wall in the cubby. and the fact that I think if the player didn't fall off of the wall, it probably gets 2 kills there. It's not quite as pretty as maybe some of the rounds we're used to from DRX, but they're going to take it. 4 rounds already on that attack, and again, back to pistols. The dimensional drift not really being used at all. I'd be interested to see what Forsaken's actually going to do with it. If it's going to be like a couple of fake plays to try and bait people out, use it for information, or if they're saving it for a situational position within a buy round that he feels it can bring value. Who knows? Because again, we don't really see this in competitive play.
Yeah, fake TP'd over towards A side, but I don't think anyone was close enough to really hear that. I'm hoping that they're going to get DRX running up through B long, but now some players have been spotted. And look at the immediate reaction. Stax goes up, makes a bit of noise, pops his flash, and then he's on his way back around. His teammates creeping in towards the A site.
Spike drop.
With no gate crash over there anymore, this is going to leave them in a pretty tough spot. PaperX stacked up on exactly the wrong side, and they're realizing that now with the smoke's going down, with the space being seized, and soon enough with the plant coming through.
It's going to be an attempt again to try and play through this. Forsaken making noise at least, but they're going to have themselves the Viper's Pit to play within. Covering off the spike, Benkai's pushed himself in. Trying to get a little bit more aggressive, but Mako's ready for it. And with the players being so low, every time he takes a battle, it becomes easier and easier. Also, okay, I was going to say, it looked like Buzz had that covered. Forsaken will drop one, Mitch, but, well, I think that might be all.
Yeah, there's an immediate response from DRX. They thin out this defense on the way back through. Another big clutch needed, and they're on their way. 2 kills already found, rifles retrieved. Here comes an orbital strike, and a dive in. Mindfreak's taken Forsaken out. But Mako going down doesn't really help them with so little time. Mindfreak tries his best. But we end up with DRX coming out ahead. Another round that Tom, I think, you know, not as clean as maybe either team would have liked. Forsaken going down to that ult. I mean, he was just barely inside it, but it was enough.
The worst thing is if he just stands back, Mako's going to run into him. Like almost 100%.
Oh, you've slow-mo'd it?
He's gonna run in. Yeah, so he tried to play on the edge and just clips it
Oh
enough.
my God!
The shot that he connects onto Marco was fantastic, but there was only one way he could go.
Yeah.
It's a nice attempt, especially again with what weaponry they had. They used those ultimates to make things incredibly costly. The DRX still come out with a round.
They've done well to find that, but you have to remember,
PaperX
had nothing. They had barely anything to play with. Initial push down on B long, and they've kept 2 players up close after the TP out. Are they ready for this? Buzz is certainly expecting there to be someone up close, but with 2 players on the other side, he could be in a lot of danger. He's starting to back off at least and give up that control. Lots of players spotted outside. Oh, he's actually going to try it! Thought he was sticking around, man. Once he popped the flash down, I'm like, is this guy crazy? He saw 3 players, but he decided to gate crash out. Oh, you give me a heart attack, Forsaken.
It's given them information of at least where the players are. And I think they've fallen back off of their initial aggression onto B, but you can see that it's definitely in the head of Buzz. Like, that's about as far back as you're ever going to play unless you're just sat within your spawn saving. So now they have to try and clear out some of these more aggressive angles. Lots of utility. This setup is beautiful, but Jin gets out. He manages to escape and still holds onto the position, even has utility of his own to try and hold them back, but Forsaken caught in a bit of an odd spot, facing the wall, trying to have the anti-flash, and in the meantime, DRX have cleared out every single player. Stacks is popping at the moment. It's left all on to Benkai. And actually, I think he's heard that rotation. It's somewhat of a ruse, but they end up going in that direction anyway when they realize the site is clear.
Yeah, and with Buzz having lurked over on B for so long, he's already got this position cleared out fully. He's ready for Benkai to make his way through, but now he senses, all right, at this stage, he'll think I'm here. Element of surprise kind of faded away, pops the smoke, falls back, and he's going to play this with his teammate. Another thing for DRX, it's just the patience play, man. They set up, they take every advantage they can get, nobody's swinging alone. And the first point of contact is going to be up inside of Hookah. Benkai is going to have to hit that shot and then immediately adjust to Buzz. Not an easy duel to take. He's being spotted now, and there's the double swing to close it. Really well handled. And at this point, this is the kind of play you need to see from DRX, because some rounds have slipped out of both teams' hands because of big clutch plays. So we're going to start to wake up and play it a lot more serious, especially with DRX being on PaperX's map pick, having lost theirs. I mean, this is a threatening position. Now a timeout will come through from the PaperX boys. They are facing into an eco, though, so I wouldn't expect success immediately.
Yeah, this is a map as well for DRX that they've been avoiding quite a bit. Like, it's out of all of the maps in the pool, this is the one that I think they have the worst record on. They've only played Fracture once, and they won it, and that was versus Onslayers, who also don't really play the map. So they've been banning that out quite consistently, especially with the comp that's also run there, an incredibly aggressive one, similarly to what we saw in Haven. I think it was a good ban. So coming in onto this map, they've clearly done the work, knowing that they want to have that 6-map pool, as most teams will. And yeah, coming into this map on the attack side, they've looked very controlled. And I think that's something that for DRX is always going to be incredibly important. Like, okay, you get caught off initially, you adapt in those scenarios, and then after that they just start clearing all of these aggressive angles and being very patient to make sure that these cheeky plays don't actually work out, because you saw how deep these players were. Like, obviously the dimensional drift, that gives you the ability to get out of there. The 2 players that push down long alongside it, that amount of control normally isn't given up, and if it is, you normally don't win the round.
Absolutely, yeah. Considering they had the info so early, they spotted the 3 players outside of Bath. Everything was going their way in terms of the info game. But a couple of times now, we've seen Forsaken caught off. I mean, playing the anti-flash in the corner, his teammates orbital strike the previous round. Not having the best of rounds there. And we're going to see him come into this one with a Marshall. He really loves the scope on the Yoru. I'm not sure that I love it, but we'll see. See if it grows on me.
Well, he's been doing quite well, at least, when he's had that operator in play. Hasn't played it particularly a huge amount because of how aggressive he's going to be. Like, he wants to be challenging through those TPs. He wants to be pushing forward, but there's definitely been moments where he's been caught out. Benkai goes pushing. Now, there's a lot of open angles from this point onwards, and I'd be very surprised if he manages to get anything. In fact, you can see the instant reaction, a free kill for RB.
Nicely connected. DRX will just breeze into this site now. The TP coming through from Forsaken. With the Marshall, I mean, he's going to have a tough time clearing out that if he ends up in a close range fight. Defy's able to just push through here, but the shot won't be connected. Zest goes down. That's a rifle upgrade for Forsaken. Bath control in their favor. They know where DRX are stuck in towards Lamps. Down in the bottom of middle, this could be huge as they look to isolate these close-range dual pistols in hand. A stinger for Jing opens it up. The buzz goes huge. 3 kills to secure the round. Now 7 on the board for DRX. These guys are steaming ahead on the attack side.
Yeah, their off the plants just look so controlled. Like, even though they gave up certain portions of the map because players were lost, they then react, reclaim others. And I don't think we've seen a success, since the pistol at least, seen a successful retake of Lamps. Like, whoever's been there, even if they're stunned up, has just been so confident in holding on to that position, whether it's been Buzz or RB in previous rounds. And retaking without that control is always so incredibly difficult, and I just don't think there's been anywhere near as much there to be able to force them out of that spot. 7-3 after some early round shenanigans. DRX have gone into a dominant spot just like they did on the previous map.
At this point, Tom, for PaperX, it's do or die time in this half. All the economy invested into this round. Gonna have a showstopper and Rolling Thunder coming up with just 1 kill. DRX are taking this understandably slowly, understanding the weight that is in this round, how important it can be. They're playing the default, holding for the aggression. PaperX up to the similar Yoru tricks that we've talked about. Yeah.
It's like seeing the fake out on the map is the most like mind blowing. Like you look just like there's, oh he's no, he's not there, he's over here. And it's just like trying to focus on it. I feel like they need to almost make him a different color when it's the fake out to be less confusing. Forsaken, however, has managed to get 1 and then escape. Ooh. Jing also just trying to delay. That was beautiful how he managed to get up there. So beautiful they didn't even expect it, but he whips his shots. Not going to find anything more, and they'll take control of the site.
That's a huge whiff. RB left alive. They're closing in on the site. The heals coming in for RB. And he's spraying back through. The Rolling Thunder committed. Maybe a little bit late, though. They just lost a player. As they go back in, there's no flashes to play with. Benkai is going to try to close the distance himself, but he's got a 1v3 now after the first kill. And they're just tucked in all these little corners. The crossfire with Long. RB should be swinging. Not able to get the kill, but... oh, actually, he'll be forced out. This is really good for Benkai. Kill with the Aftershock, 1v2. Time on his side. Information, though, not really there to play with, and the swing from Stacks confirms the round. 8 on the board for DRX. PaperX are running out of cash, Tom, coming into the final round.
Well, yeah, they're running out of rounds as well. Like, it's been incredibly strong. And that's the thing, I feel like there's been opportunities where we could have seen PaperX, like, catch someone off guard, and they just haven't been able to do so. Like, the movement that came out from Jing there was fantastic. Like, able to get up above, take an aggressive angle, doesn't connect, and then you just see instantly DRX just lock him out with utility. They don't allow him to have a repeat. They don't allow him to have another chance, and anybody else who's battling elsewhere on the map, well, they've already lost by that point.
So not only did PaperX have a poor economy, oh, but never mind, screw that point. Forsaken's gone, he's running it down, flashes in, Mind Freak trades, Showstopper out to secure it. RB doesn't even need it. And this is what I was going to point out. You had a res for DRX, but Zest is gone. You have the Showstopper as well. And sure, Jing has his own, but after that initial fight and losing all of the players, this is a next to impossible round. Oh, that's stunned. Great that Showstopper gets nothing, and with 30 HP and a Spectre in the hands of both remaining players, this round is, well, it should be DRX's, and they're even going to confirm it rotating to A, leaving Jing to try and run, and look who's right behind him. Behind the Cosmic Divide, RB's going to secure this bit of map control. And that's great information because now they know exactly where he's going, and he has no idea.
There's only one way he can go. So you can see instantly, Stax is already watching this. The communication from DRX is second to none. Everybody's on the same page of where this is currently going to be coming from. You can see the hold over on the other side, the plant even being in an aggressive position. And it's almost like Stax has eyes around the map or something. Maybe he's playing a side from we just didn't know it. Because his timing, his precision on this map has been superb. DRX 9-3 in the lead, Mitch. That was dominant.
Well, maybe the first time someone had a Cypher cam when they shouldn't. 9-3 at the half. Pretty damn strong position for DRX. You know, we had some concerns coming onto this map. And, well, I think they have been well and truly put to rest. But you know what? We weren't the only ones with concerns, Tom. The analyst desk had some things to say. Let's see what they made of that half.
Thank you so much, Mitch and Tom. 9-3, y'all. Okay, I mean, DRX clapping back on Paper Rex's map pick there.
Yeah.
Jess, that hurt a little to watch.
I mean, yeah, I wouldn't say it was necessarily a bad half from Paper X. I just thought that at every turn, DRX was making good positional movements around the map. Speaking of locking down this man on your screen, let's bring him up for you. This man was locked out time and time and time again, and no matter how he tried to use his Yoru utility, Doug, you and I were sitting here going, underwhelmed. What a shame he can't unlock the full potential of this particular agent, because if he could, the way he runs Riot on this map usually, then, I mean, I just think it's DRX locking him out.
Yeah, it's tricky because I have so much hope, right? Like, I want Yoru to work, and there is good and there is bad to this pick, right? You really live by, it's feast or famine when you try to do things like this. There are a couple of really good examples. You take a look at the beginning of this round. He's able to clear long, clear back showers, and then gate crash back up to A heaven. So just in a split second, he's established control of probably 75% of the map, right? Just by gathering information. On the other side, though, here's where there's the famine part of this. You see he sets up his gate crash outside of showers. He's able to fight through teleporter to help contest sand. But as soon as he takes that gate crash back, the control is lost. Now, he's on the opposite side of the map. There's no quick way for him to get back to the team and help take this fight. So there really is... There is control that can be gathered. There's very good ways to instantly grab information, like we saw in the first clip. But in the second clip, when you take that gate crash, there's no turning back, right? Like, you've committed to that spot, and if you commit the wrong way, you're out of the fight. It was while that happened that they lost speed control. He wasn't able to get back into the site. He wasn't able to get back into the round. Now, all of that said, I'm hoping that him going to attack will be different, right? Like, they'll get back on their attacking half. Perhaps he feels a bit more comfortable in his playmaking ability there, but the defensive half, while it had some glimpses of cool stuff, was underwhelming.
Jess, what would you like to see from Yoru then?
I just want to see what it looks like aggressive on the attack. Let's see what brings with that. Let's see if he can get a little bit more control.
Well, let's see. Tomich, take it away.
Well, we're right back into the action here. Round number 13 about to kick off, and Tom, Paper X have got a pretty tough task at hand. This is going to have to be a solid attack side, and I think somewhere we're hoping to see a lot of value out of that Yoru coming into things here.
I love the clips we were getting from Doug, though, because those are things that you sort of spot out, like you see the ladder parts, but he's taken the POVs out of the round, and he's given us the only Yoru analysis we've ever seen in pro play. So there you go. Thank you, Doug, for that one. But yeah, it's a really rough spot for them to be in, and especially now going into a DRX defense, which has so much stopping power. That's almost, I thought this composition would work for them more so on that defense, because you have so much stuff to sort of slow down this fast-paced, aggressive play, which Paper X love to do. Well,
it looks like DRX have really rolled the dice on this one. 4 players on the A site, but well, Paper X have gone the other side.
I don't think that flash can caught anyone.
So that's information void.
Yeah, it's false info.
And here we go. Some noise coming up long. DRX will have a pretty good idea what's going on now, but there's not anything that they can do about it. You know, unless Stax is going to run out and just die to like 4 players rushing him, he's just going to wait, hold elbow control, and let his teammates rotate in. But look at this. Paper X are not going to give them any space at all. 3 players pushing in to take that control, and a flash ready for Devi. He's back out with the pistol, and well, that hasn't gone according to plan.
Jing in pistol rounds. It's a terrifying force. He's looking to just sprint all the way in from behind. Forsaken being walled off, and actually they're going to try and get on the defuse. They have the gatekeeper as well, as they just wrap back. They're still sticking this. They're holding it all the way down, and they can't quite stop them. It's going to be defused right in front of their faces, and that wall, I think, just wins them the round.
And the incredible thing is as well, the player didn't get walled off. They got walled up and just weren't ready for it. That would have been 2 kills probably if he was a step further forward looking to left, but instead he goes up in the air, gets confused about how to even aim while you're flying up. And this here, toe tapping away, Benkai takes him down as the defuse comes through. I don't know if there's a way to analyze that one frame by frame in the production truck and tell us how close it was.
Why did you give it that task?
I'm going to give him a difficult task. I want to know, how close was that to stopping the defuse? And production are now hating.
Joe's just sat there like, screw you. I have enough to do.
Well, 10-3. This is looking like DRX setting themselves up for victory, but Parex a 4 spot. Forsaken's in the sight. He's already grabbed himself a kill. Looks like he wants a little bit more as well, and he needs it too. Still a player sat here on the back site. RB's gone undetected thus far. They still haven't cleared him.
No, I think they have the plan to. Oh, Flash is
Still
still
sure?
going. Okay, never mind. Free kill. They still haven't managed to get the spike. They're trying to bait people into peeking. Jing eventually will get the job done, but again, the trades come back and forth. Dancing past goes Marco, but Benkai in from behind has managed to find one more. It's left all on to Stacks again, and this time he can't clutch it out. PaperX will bounce back, and it's a needed round.
Taking a leaf out of DRX's book with the second round forced by. Huge success in this one. Only the 2 players surviving, so there is still a decent bit of investment for them, but it's unlikely DRX really decide to go all in on this round. Defensive side, they could make it work with a light buy, but the eco is 9 times out of 10 what you're going to be going for, and that gives PaperX at least an opportunity.
3 frames. That's what I've been told.
3 frames?
3 frames.
Oh my. Okay, well that's a bit unreasonable. That's ridiculous.
Beacon down.
Such a tight margin, but either way, they might have lost the first round because of a couple of frames, but they've won the second, and now all that's left to do is convert up against Classics. It has been a full eco for DRX. The fake going out, Yoru just running forward. They've realized. Managed to get one of the kills at least to start with. Forsaken's just running through the aftershock. What a lunatic. It's his teammate, so yeah, take less damage, but he's still pretty low.
I feel like half the time he has to work out where he is. like, because I'm trying to keep up with it. Like, okay, he's gone from there. He's over there now. That's not him. That's the fake one. No, the other one's over on this side. And okay, and he's dead. And that's like half the round. And I can't imagine what it's like for DRX, because I can see his point of view, him on the map, where he puts his fake outs on the map, and they can't see any of that until it's in their face. So I feel like it's almost, again, just like this disruption play coming out from PaperX of just like, this guy is creating confusion for you. And again, I remember speaking to Nikhil, and he was like, this agent is made for him.
It's like, the problem with Yoru that we've seen when it was tried in the MEA towards the start is that you can see the idea behind a lot of the plays, but it's so hard to pull it off successfully. Oh no, the wall's gone up.
Yeah,
that's exactly what you said.
This was one of the things I said about them bringing in a Sage. It wasn't in the comp previously, and it's just like, if he's going to try and cause disruption with his ultimate, well, that doesn't work if you just wall it off. He can't run through walls. That's not in the ability toolset yet, you know? Maybe if he stops being played, they'll add that in.
He's being played, what, by the one team playing him?
It was 0% before today, so now they've gone, one guy did it, sorry, we can't give you the through wall attack.
No buff, yeah. Maybe if we're following that logic, I guess Rain is about to have a nerf as well after the last
I'll wait for the Phoenix buff.
Okay. Relax. Not looking to make it an NA meta. The flash out towards long here confirms that there's been no push from DRX. Super passive play. And after they hear that flash on long, look at them go. They're running. Oh, but that being destroyed is not ideal, because now it's actually sort of made DRX think maybe they're still around here for seconds in the back of the site.
I guess that maybe with the Seekers, he just had the confidence to do that, but I feel like he would have done it anyway. They've still got this deep control in the afterplant, but look at DRX, they're expecting it. They know they've lost this control. Jing is so quick on the reactions. Goes back for a little more, but he's being pinched from behind. He's got to be careful. He needs his teammates to watch, and they're not. It allows RB to get the kill and leaves just 3 standing.
Yeah, his teammates having Spectres, didn't want to hold into heaven, but that's just really put him in a bad spot. Devi at least able to trade back. Mind Freak Gonna have to select this moment very carefully. You can see they're watching the smoke, waiting for him to emerge. He's got a teammate buying him some time and double spray down. That is huge. Orbital strike to confirm the round, essentially. 3v1, Stacks will get a kill, but time is the biggest enemy for him. He has got to run for the hills. That is a massive round for PaperX to pick up. They came into this with a lot of disadvantages, and damn did they make it work.
Yeah, and especially when it came down to like that 4v3 scenario after a couple of players attempted to get aggressive. They needed a little bit of luck, and it looks like they got it there. Just spamming through the smoke, lining up to try and just stop the person from defusing. Actually gets 2 for his money instead. And now it leaves a bit of a weird scenario. Now, DRX do have some pretty damn powerful ults, and some coming close as well. Like, you got the Seekers almost there, a Showstopper only 2 away, but the one I'm focusing on at least is that Viper's Pit. If they can get into a site, get into a good position, there's an opportunity for them here. And I do wonder if they're just going to try and utilize it almost instantly, but instead, Stacks is just going to try fighting.
Stacks the only player that had a Phantom though, so the players to back him up, not going to have nearly as easy of a time. The Showstopper won't be finding a kill here. The players are far too far away. But it is seizing the space, getting them onto the site quickly, allowing the plants to come through.
They waited. I like it. They didn't even move that little bit forward just in case, because they didn't hear it fired off just yet. Buzz, not wanting to get caught in his astral form. And they've just got so much utility to hold them back at this point. Again, for the remaining players, not really expecting them to invest anything into this, and just going to try and get a kill or 2.
Was at least managed to find the first. Fighting back into the stun, not too easy. Flash, not going to blind anybody at all. I mean, they've waited out a lot of the utility here. It's the best moment to strike for DRX on the way through. Rifle retrieved, but nothing to be found for it. Still, good damage, all things considered. Yeah. And, you know, I like PaperX. For a second, I thought, I'd love to see the Aftershock go down with the nade. But then I realized they were staggering their utility purely just to buy themselves that extra bit of time. Nade down first, wait a little moment, pop down the Aftershock, wait a second longer, stun it up. It was nicely handled.
Yeah, again, still got pretty much all of those ultimates. Like, Benkai has his Rolling Thunder on the other side, but defensively, a Viper's Pit potentially being put into play, Seekers when they need that information, or on the retake. So, again, there's a lot of danger here, and they're just going to lock it down on A site almost instantly. The only worry I have is that if there's any ultimate that they have to be really careful playing against when you're up against a Yoru, it's a Viper's Pit.
Yes, that can be extremely dangerous.
Spike drop.
Now, when you look at where PaperX are at right now, they did start to give up the control here and move away, but it seems like they've got an idea of what they want to do, moving in towards this Viper's Pit. Mako holding behind the box, won't be baited out by that fake from Yoru. You've got a slow orb ready to fire through. A minute left on the clock, though. DRX won't want to use up all their utility just yet. And that might buy some time. PaperX already setting up, starting to break this wall inside a bathroom. This is wise from them not to already be charging into the pit. They want to wait a moment, and they want to make sure that they're applying pressure from both sides. What this does, though, is it allows DRX to start that rotation. 3 players here, the Seeker seeing them outside, and that's an ambitious play. He's already through! Forsaken's got them with the TP, and he had to be ulted by a Showstopper.
30 seconds left.
And he wanted to try and catch out Marco. That's the problem. You needed to kill off this Viper. And in fact, he now re-aggresses further. This is going to be a huge surprise. They don't expect him. That's a spike down. Marco's already won them the round. This has to be a straight sprint for the remainder, and they'll have to do it through a Viper's Pit. I don't even think they have the time to get anything done, just hoping for a miracle shot. And that slight bit of re-aggression coming out from Marco basically just closes it completely.
That is absolutely huge. And initially, he was moving to get the flank, thinking that the players were already gone, that they were on their way to plant, and he hears that step behind him, and it's like Christmas came early for him. He couldn't believe his luck. 2 players running through his pit, not even looking at him. This right here, were it not for the Showstopper, I mean, he was spraying through that. It could have come close to taking Mako down. But in the end, man survives and wins it out, and it's all around that Viper's Pit. 11 on the board for DRX.
Yeah, 3 ultimates used in that round for DRX, just to make sure it's confirmed. The remaining 2, far more situational, and you do still have that Rolling Thunder available for an entry. Again, there's a lot of cool combination things you can do alongside that Yoru, stunning them up, not enabling them to be able to turn around to take that fight versus him. There's a lot of potential, but I don't know if he's necessarily going to be the focus point of this.
They haven't checked the right as they go through, but they'll spam it anyways. Luckily, they already had Mako drop down. Over towards the side. PaperX have been cleared out long with the Yoru. Now going to look to blitz into the side, but again, DRX have got the lead. There's 3 players here ready to fight. Rolling Thunder for left side. They'll fight the right, and TP in on the back of the Rolling Thunder. Look how quickly Forsaken's already here, able to eliminate RB, and almost takes down Stacks with a sliver of HP. That's a quick frag for his teammates. Mako hasn't been spotted just yet, but they're ready. They knew he could be in the smoke. Zest quick to bounce back onto the site. They know that Buzz is there. Really, PaperX didn't let anything slip there. That was such a clean round.
Yeah, I really like the potential combinations of that Rolling Thunder, because normally you're going to have yourself a raise in most cases, blast packing in behind it.
Yes.
That's expected. The fact is, though, they have 2 players that can get in so desperately quick that it's impossible for them to check every single angle at once, because they're either trying to escape to make sure they're not just getting killed while they're stunned, or they're going, Raze is flying over my head! So you have to try and almost focus on that. There's so much distraction play within this composition, and yeah, then just holding on to the site at the end. 11-8. Remember, this was a 9-3 first half, and DRX are now back to just pistols. Again, still with a res if they get into a good spot. Oh no. Well, there's the good spot, Mitch. There's the good spot.
Pretty good spot, yeah. They pushed down mid, got stunned by Breach, and managed to hit the shot swinging with the Sheriff. I mean, you get 1 bullet, 1 shot. They certainly didn't let it slip. Nice. These rifles are going to have a really tough time of recovering it. The one upside is that in the positions they killed them in, not wanting to over-aggress and lose their lives, they haven't retrieved those rifles. So the remaining players still only have pistols to play with.
Still, though, isolating these duels, not going to be easy.
Smoke's down.
Mind Freak spotting one, but he's just gone straight into the site. He's an absolute madman. And while RB will take that, a quick trade, putting it into a 4 versus 2. It seems like a ruse, though. They're trying to fake this out, and they have pulled a rotation. If they can manage to isolate Marco, this round could go in their favor. However, they've got to find him first.
All they have to do is deal with Mako, but that can be a pretty tough round. They're clearing the right angle, but he's avoided them, and the timing was perfect. The shot not connected, though. And now stuck in the corner. It should be easy. Mind Freak being played with here. Oh, he's down to 19 HP. The classic comes out, and Stacks is there to save the day. Divide distracted by the teleport behind. You see just why it's not so easy to get rid of Mako. Hiding in that corner, buying so much time for the rotations to come through. DRX just looking unstoppable with 4 chances to close out this map and bring us to Ascent.
It's so dirty. It's just so dirty. So much aggression across the map from DRX. It's not the norm of what we see from them on this map in particular, of what we've seen so far. It's been much more passive, waiting for these aggressive plays to come through from PaperX, and that spanner in the work has basically turned this now into a map point for them. A chance to take us to a 3rd, a chance to take us to Ascent, which within their region has been a phenomenal map for them. And somewhere I'm sure they're going to be incredibly happy to go.
To start this one out, PaperX are looking for mid control. Fighting up through Hookah, they get it for free. DRX are content to just give this control up, maybe realizing there could be some weaknesses here for PaperX. The Judge, always going to be scary, he has been spotted up and above. Nade for backside, going to push a player out of position. Mako in trouble, he ends up falling for the decoy. Forsaken!
Dear.
That was huge misread.
I don't think he spotted him. I think Marco managed to dodge within the tube, and because of that, it's all fallen apart. The aggression of Stacks is countered, though, and Divide has just gone massive. He's run out of bullets, though, and Buzz has killed the final 2. DRX are going to claim their opponent's map choice just